Hello everyone. Here we are. I will still play some videos, but I wanted to connect with Elijah already so that he knows I'm around and I'm not going anywhere. So before we start to talk, I'm just playing one video from one of our speakers, and I will be with you very soon.
Hi there, I'm Jai Narayan. Now, why should you join the Global Empowerment Summit 2022 this year? Because, as they say, the human mind, once stretched with new experiences and learning, never regains its original dimensions. So come, join us, stretch your hands, stretch your legs, and most importantly, stretch your minds. I'm going to be there. I will hope to see you too. Bye for now.
I am so happy to see Jai and to see you all. How are you, Elijah?
Man, I'm so good. I'm
I
just
can see you.
excited.
I love to see you smile all the time. So for the audience who is listening to us, Elijah is tuning in from Africa. So I'm so happy to have you here. How are you? Because I just jumped out of the startup competition interview. So I would love you to talk a little bit more than me and tell us about how was your day and how are you nowadays?
Okay. So, basically, okay, my name is Moses Elijah. Thank you for the reintroduction again. All right. So, Moses Elijah, yeah, from Nigeria, doing quite well. And although I think I slept quite late today, also my slept by like 4, woke up quite early as well. But waking up with all the energy, all the zest, just being excited about today. So, that's been it for me so far today. Yeah, I would say, yeah.
So how is your breakfast? What did you do in the morning? Do you go to a run or do you do any sport activities? How is your day starting normally?
Okay, so well, when I wake up, actually, first things first, I read. All right, so I have some couple of books. I have from my end, like you can see, I have like stack of book here, close to about 20 plus. So I take one of them, maybe Ikigai, the way of life, and all this stuff. Just absorb knowledge. So absorption of knowledge the first night in the morning, and then I have meditation section where I just sit down and just keep calm, just you know, silence the thoughts in the head. All right. And after that, I engage in the kind of like spiritual, exercise. I pray. And then I engage in the day. I do what is required in the day. I have my goals written down and I go straight to action. Yeah.
Go straight to action, and then you are the most lexical person I have ever known. I don't know. You ask Elijah anything, he knows it. So tell us a quote, just like this. Tell us a good quote to start this beautiful conversation with.
Okay. So let's say the the quality of one's life is tied to their internal intrinsic value with respect to the quality of that thought. So the quality of your life is tied to the quality of your internal values. So those internal values also determines the outcome of your life. In other words, if I have the right set of value, the right set of thinking pattern, so when my value system and my thought system combines together, ultimately I see clearly in life and I make maximum impact. So keep that in mind. Thought, value, merge together, impact.
Love it,
All
love
right.
it. Always on top and always knowing all this. I would love to remember all this, but I'm better on doing things on the spot than remembering. We all have our positive sides, right? And
Yep.
our
Yep.
skills. I really love it that we are complementing each other. So your topic for today is art of business development. So why this topic
Yep.
and why are you so excited and passionate about it?
That's a very, very, very important question. Okay, I love business, and my journey of my love for business. All right, it dates quite back to about I think that was like 4 or 5 years ago. I sat down and I was like, okay. I saw how people were doing what they are doing, and I'm like, can there be more to what people are doing? I mean, I know most times, people actually try to compete against each other to gain market forces. I'm like, rather than you having the competition, can it be a collaborative edge? Can people actually, exist within similar settings or ecosystems without having to fight themselves for the customer and things like that? So that love to understand how things work was one key thing that, in a way, fueled my passion for business. And there are different definitions of business, but my definition of what business is anything you actually engage in, or any enterprise you engage in, that creates a system of value for long-term profitable outcome. So any enterprise you engage in that creates a system of value for long-term profitable outcomes. So it's not just short-term. So all these things actually merge up together to form my perspective about business. I love complexities, all right, but I'm one person who likes to bring out simplicity out of that complex stuff. So when it's like everything just so complex, 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 I'm like, hey, relax. It's not that complex. All right, if you make it less complex. So that's been it for me so far.
Yeah, I love it. I love how you approach it, and you are so excited about it. And I would love to ask the question, like, who is your role model? If you have to mention someone from the business world that you are really looking up to, and you say that, okay, this is how I want to do it, who would be that?
Yeah. So, well, I would say I have like two blends of role models that form my perspective, that form my business insight perspective and business philosophical perspective combined together. The first one is Jay Abraham. He's a wonderful fellow. I've never seen a human. I've, I've never seen a human that has such depth of understanding like Jay Abraham. He literally worked in over okay, he has a resource insight in over more than 1,000 industries. I mean, literally, this guy is like the business guru of the century,
Mhm.
and he devises concept ideas that are so seasoned, like are really applicable because when you listen to him, all right, he tries to break down complexity into simple stepwise process that anybody can apply because he believes that principles are universal. So if it works in Asia, it should work in Europe, in Africa, that for me is something I'm actually driven by. And secondly, the person who forms my business, philosophical perspective is Dr. Jordan Peterson. I love it so much. Like, he's he's something else. He's something else. When I listen to Dr. Jordan Peterson, I get inspired to do more. I get inspired to understand how people think. All right. I get inspired to um to really get to drill through the thought process. And Jordan Peterson is one person that is nailing it. I tell you, big time. I've literally watched all his YouTube videos, followed him all on his Instagram reels, like back to back, and
Mhm.
it's just so inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I think people love your energy. It's like Jag is saying, like, oh, Elijah, you are so, so excited. But I think I got to know you like this, and you are just like this. And I love it because it's very rare to see people. And I'm always the one who is like, wow, all over the place and very happy. But it's good to have someone similar ways who is bringing the energy up in the room. So thank you so much for this. And
Yeah,
I
well,
think also Aichan is writing, Jay Abraham is an ultimate sales guy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So true. So
yeah.
about your business development, back to the topic, Elijah. So on your own side, I know that you are in a specific industry, following a specific purpose. How do you make sure that your business development goes well? Where did you start? Where are you today? What are all the things that you do to get what you would like to have in your business?
Okay, so I'll tell you. Okay, where I was last year and where I am now. All right, there's this big leap, and because certain factors actually came into place. So okay, right now at the moment, okay, let me give like a summary of everything. So I don't
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
take
yeah.
much
Start from
of
the
the time.
beginning.
Okay. All right. So let me shock you guys. Let me shock you guys. So earlier this, okay, I always had this idea of, not just being controlled by a system, but being in charge of a system of value. All right, because I believe to a great extent that one effective way through which you can actually extend your reach is by creating a system of values that can empower other persons with the right, with the right set of insight, the right set of guidance, the right set of, commercial utilities, which means profits to a great extent. So with that desire in my mind, I've been thinking, okay, what can I do? What can I always think. I mean, I love thinking. Sometimes I can just sit down alone and for about 4 hours, 5 hours, deep thinking or just being in this flow state. And it's so crazy how thought just start, flooding into my mind on things I can do, things I can improve, old system I can revamp, and literally when I began thinking this way, I began seeing opportunities in every problem. So that actually led me to devise a means on how I can, create this system. So earlier this year, earlier this year, I said to myself, okay, I want to build like six startups. Nice, crazy. Like I would just wake up like that's part of my goal. Like out of my goal, I said I'm going to like build six startups this year. So I was going to grow by 800% productive efficiency, to grow by 800% if efficiently productive. And I also said to myself that I was going to apply for 100 opportunities, all right, before the end of this year. Now, let me shock you. Before the end of this year, I actually have, at the moment, three startups. They're actually, they are doing well for now, cutting across the area of, agri-tech, marketing enterprise, and the last one, education technology. So that started out that way because I saw a need and I discovered within myself that I have the required potentials to render solution to this need. All right, because opportunities are born out of problems. Opportunities are born out of problems, and also moving in. This is also the very striking part. How I was able to also extend my reach. All right, I said I was going to apply for 100 opportunities. All right, now how could I apply for 100 opportunities? How can I do that? Well, if there's one thing I've discovered, all right, with respect to again,
This is so important and I so interesting because I always see you applying for an opportunity and then I'm always like,
yeah.
okay, he got it, he got it, he got it. It's so nice.
All right, so
Very
let me tell you. Let me tell you. So let me tell you. I said to myself, how will I be able to, apply for 100 opportunities? Because I see opportunities as, the gateway to the world of, unlimited access. So I I started looking for them. All right. Someone said when there is where I think that was Nietzsche. Nietzsche said the man who has a strong why will enjoy anyhow. The man who has a strong why will enjoy anyhow. Very Nietzsche. So I was asking myself, okay, now I have a strong why. I have a reason why I want to do what I want to do. All right. So what is the how? And I discovered that the how has always been there. The how has always been in the public. But because earlier, prior to that time, I didn't have focus. My focus was not directed. I couldn't grab the how. So I searched online. I went online. I was looking out for platforms I could apply for, hackathons. I applied for the Global Silicon Valley Business Hackathon program. That was about a 12-week. I brainstormed with some of the best minds in the world. I also applied for other business grants and opportunities. Some of them I connected, some of them I networked, some of them I didn't scale through. All right. So and but the ultimate aim was that in each of these opportunities, there was always something to learn. There was always something to gain. And through this means I was able to connect with one of my sponsor who is like he plays the role of a father figure to me right now. He actually saw my idea. I was like, man, Elijah, this is great. This is wonderful. All right. Your health tech idea can actually go far. And I would like to, give you some couple of, money to actually, precede or kick off your idea. I was like, okay, that's nice. And other amazing things came into play. So it started first from a desire to do more. It started first, it moved secondly into the position of converting problems into solutions. moving forward to creating a system of value around the solution, moving forward to commercializing the solution in terms of creating profit in the long run, because that's what business is all about: profit making and impact making as well. So that's been it, like, in summary. All right. So,
So you are
yeah,
basically surfing on online and finding any opportunities that can apply to you, and then you are not afraid to actually apply to all
no,
of them. And whichever you get
yeah,
into, you just get into and you do it, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just shoot your shot, keep shooting. Yeah, keep shooting.
So, what is your industry? What industry and what purpose you are working for? What is your business that you would like to build out?
Okay, so well, I have like three or four of them now, but
You don't have to tell
yeah.
the secret ideas, yeah, just those ones which you
Okay,
already
okay,
developed.
okay. So, okay, I'll tell you each of them in summary. All right, and also what I do as an individual. All right, so the first one is called agrotech, agroverse. All right, agroverse is an agrotech based, sustainable based company that is focused on converting waste into wealth. So, in other words, they are combining agriculture and technology merged up together. All right, it's
Mhm.
crazy because that's like a current trend. Technology is integrating itself in every industry, every platform. So, in agrotech, we basically combine tech and agriculture together. So, we're scaling up agricultural processes, and there's a whole lot of things we do. So many crazy stuff. I'll tell you later. Then the second one actually is Harvard. That's the name of the startup. It sounds like Harvard, but it's not like Harvard. All right, it's more like HARV-ED. Now, Harvard is an edtech based company. All right, and what we do basically is we decentralize assets, learning access to people. Right, when we decentralize means you make it accessible. All right, so you make the opportunity of learning fun, and you bring this to people who don't necessarily have these assets. All right, in developing undeveloped countries and as well developed countries as well. And then the third one is actually any business consult. All right, this is where I do the stuff. All right, so any business consult, what I do, all right, I actually help businesses to scale up their marketing operation. So by leveraging on digital platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, devising marketing campaign processes, and the rest. All right, so we do this as well. So these three combined together is what I do from my end. So I'm more like just like J. Abraham, more like a blend of industries wired
Yeah,
together.
there's a good sales guy with a good energy, and you can really sell yourself because you got into so many programs that many from the young people they could just look at you
Yeah.
and see that okay, this is the energy you need to get through. And most
Mm.
probably, I would suggest you to also reach out to Samuel, one of the speakers, and Gerard, because they are both in some kind of different similar industries. So maybe you could also like collaborate with them. So I will
I,
introduce you to them later. But yeah, we have so
I,
many amazing speakers in many fields that I believe, then we are unstoppable if we all come together for a common purpose, and we will have something
mm,
very big coming up soon. So I'm really excited to have you here, and I'm loving the conversation. But I'm always want to focus back also to the audience. So what would be your practical tips to the audience when it's about business development and business growth? Where's to start, and what are those steps that they really have to do, or how can they get that confidence that you have? Tell us a
mm.
few tips, practical, applicable
All,
tips that people can use.
all right, all right. So, if you're listening to me right now, I want you to know that you can do wonders. I want you to know that every problem you see around, whether your personal problem, sometimes your personal problem might have a higher scale of reach. In other words, it might not just be your personal problem, because in solving your personal problem, you solve the problems for many. All right. So first things first, what you need to do is you need to identify a need. All right. In Stephen Covey's seven habit of highly effective people. All right, talk about the place of the voice, the need. You need to identify the need. All right, so there is a need somewhere. All right, a need is a cry out for a solution. a need is a cry out for a solution, and the proof of a desire is the pursuit of that purpose. So look out for a need, identify a need. All right, no matter how little it might be, no matter how large it might be, identify it first. So when you identify a need, all right, the second thing you need to do is you need to think about the scale of the impact of that need. So how many persons are actually going through this thing? Am I the only one, or are we many? Now, sometimes it might just be you, but when you solve that you problem, others who don't necessarily have that problem become aware of the importance of the solution to that problem. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you start for the scale of the impact of that need. All right. The scale of the impact. Now, thirdly, after you've done that, all right, you think of a solution around it. All right. Solutions are everywhere. I tell you, let me shock you. One of the most effective ways for you to get solutions is to think long on the problem. Yeah, as funny as it is, when you think long on the problem, you start seeing new perspective towards that problem. All right. So think out of the solution. All right. Think out of the solution. Now, when you have the solution, the business term for it to be an MVP, a minimum viable product. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So something that is the mini representation of that big idea. All right. So don't just keep the idea on the head. Have something that have something that you can connect with. Have something that other people can connect with. All right. So when you have the minimum viable product, all right, the next phase before the last phase, all right, you need to test these out. So you need to test these out. The reason why you're testing out these is to ascertain whether or not your hypotheses or assumptions are right about the problem and about the solution to that problem. Very important. So when you test it out, you get to know, you get to meet different people, like you get
Mm-hmm.
feedback, you get data,
It's like
you get
testing your
uh,
idea, right?
that you're testing it. Now you are micro testing it. It's called
Mm-hmm.
piloting. Right? So you are piloting the idea. And it's very funny. Always very funny. You will get feedbacks that will help you improve that idea. It's always like that. So when you micro pilot this idea, this MVP, when you micro pilot it, you get to know how people react to the things you created. And after that, you try to scale up your process and commercialize your value. Always remember that commercialization of innovation drives profit in every business. Commercialization of innovation drives profit in every business. Very, very important. So when you commercialize it, all right, automatically people start giving you money for your solution. Like, hey, very nice. This is good. They give you money for your solution. All right. Never forget this, that every time you create something that is necessary, something that is important, all right, people will always appreciate you. And there's no such thing as a bad idea. There's no such thing as a bad idea. Every idea is good. The timing is what matters. Don't forget that.
I love it. I love the advice, and I love how you came from the beginning, and how you are very passionate about whatever you are talking about, and you really knowledgeable also about the topics, which is very rare. And I think that's a rare skill that you have, a rare diamond there
Thank you.
in Nigeria. Our
Thank
Elijah, I really love to have you with us, and I'm really thankful for this conversation. Before I let you go, I see Yuva is also already in the studio. Before I let you go, I will ask first the audience whether they have any questions about business development and make it profitable and how you can grow your business. But
you.
otherwise, I would say, what would be your one advice to your younger self? You are already too young, but what would be like, let's say, like when you all started all these, when you started to run after all these applications, what would be the advice that you would give yourself?
Very nice. Well, um, you can always do more. Don't settle. You can always do more. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Be more, do more, become more, evolve more, advance more, accelerate beyond your age, accelerate beyond your age. Yeah,
I love
that was some
that.
good advice.
I love this
Yeah.
advice. And then before we leave, yeah, we have a question, and then I bring Christian and Yuva up. So the question from Alchan is, what is a minimum percentage profit margin to work on an MVP and a minimum valuable product? What do you think?
Nice. Now, there are specific factors that come into place. All right. The first one would be, the features, the functionality. All right. The feature of the MVP. All right. The functionality of the MVP. So there's a need for appropriate costing of, external materials that are coming into place. Now, if you're building something physically tangible, right, there is a cost for it. All right. If you're building something that is less physically tangible but has a digital representation, there might still be a cost for it. So it depends on the overall features and functionalities of that design. All right. So there's no exact
Percentage, yeah.
amount. All right.
Mm-hmm.
No exact percentage. It varies. Yeah. Okay. Let me use myself as a practical example. All right. So I was actually building this prototype or this MVP that helps people who have the tendency for cardiac arrest and who are also diabetes type 2. All right. So the 3-1 product merged up together. And I discovered earlier that for me to actually build this, I'll be needing close to about like $1,500, $2,000. Now you observe that the MVP, or the prototype, or the MVP looks, quite high, right? The prototype of that idea looks quite high.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now imagine if I start charging the clients or charging people who are actually going to buy the product, like I charge them like $1,000, they're not going to pay. Right? But then the aim of me having that huge amount is because in building the prototype, I'm also testing out things. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
certain things might break, certain things might come into place. And after building the prototype, then I try to subsidize the price of the idea. And by subsidizing it, I can then give it a required profit margin or a ratio. I say, okay, hey, I'm not selling this for 1,500. I'm gonna sell this for 200. I'm gonna sell this for 150. So it varies. All right. So depending on what you're working on, depending on the features and the functionalities in place, that also means depending on the technologies you're also using to make these features and functionality. But if it's for a minimum rate, ensure that it doesn't exceed 50%. All right. Nothing should exceed 50%. If not, it's above the head because you are still testing out your ideas and hypotheses. All right.
I love
Very
it. I
important.
love the tip. I think you just said it all. If you would like to reach out to Elijah, I put the link just right here. So please reach out to
Yep. Yep.
Elijah on LinkedIn. Yeah, let her here push now, so that you can connect with him and discuss your business ideas. And Elijah, thank you so much. I will see you also later, maybe for a panel discussion. And yeah, I am just really loving your energy, and continue and grow and keep your energy high, and apply for
Yep.
more. And I will let
Yep.
one video roll. And after the one video, we will have you and Chrishanne in the studio. So thank you so much, Elijah. Thank you for being here
Thank
today.
you. Welcome. You're
Bye
welcome.
bye.
Brian Harris. Thank you.
And here we go. Let me remove the banner so that we are all visible. And then after we can start our conversation. And this today, actually, I will have a very special place here. I will not be in the studio because these two guys here would like to discuss their topic. Hi, Christian. Hi, Yuva. How are you? How are you today?
Hi, Andrea. Hi, Yuva. It's been quite a challenging, tiring day, multitasking, working on client requests. Also, I managed to join into the first few sessions of the summit. So I was glad to do that and also quickly do the game that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, we still have the game. Let me just share it very quickly before we start, because some people were saying that the link is not good. So I will just quickly share my screen, which is actually having the barcode on it. And then you can just quickly go there and just yeah, just use your phones and just take this little QR code here, and then you can already play, and you can just get on these 5 questions. Every single weekend, we will have more questions coming up. We will do it Friday, 12 p.m., and Saturday, we will also pull up 5 new questions. So, guys, just go for it. The more you play with the same email address, make sure you are using the same email address, the more you can win and the more you will be on the top of the leaderboard. So I'm really, really excited for this game provided for us by Shiv. So let me remove the barcode. And today's topic for you, I'm so excited about it, is something very special and close to my heart. So I'm really, really happy to have it here with you. And it's the art of networking and communication, which I really, really love, to build people, to communicate, to build a community. It's not an easy task. So I think I will let you to it. Some people are already watching us. Cynthia is here. Jag is here, of course. Alchan is here. So you will have a good audience. So guys, I will let you in the studio. I will be backstage. And now, from now on, Chrishanne, you will lead the conversation, because this is your session and I'm happy to
Sure.
listen to you in the background. So I will just remove myself and go to the backstage.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you,
Andrea.
Andrea.
Thank you, Andrea.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which part of the world that you are joining us from. I have with me a good friend of mine, Yuva Rajan. For short, we call him Yuva. And thank you to Cynthia, Jag, and Elle for joining us. I hope more people join us and they'll be more interactive with us during the session on the art of networking and communication. So, just a little bit of intro about myself and Yuva as well. Hi, we have a Facebook user. If you can click on the StreamYard link, so then, or you can just mention what is your name, because right now we can't see that. So I am the wordsmith and a communication consultant. I provide written communication such as proofreading, copywriting, my niche area, which is I help my clients repurpose their resume. Um, and Yuva is a mathematic teacher by day, and he's got another, shall we say, side hustle, which hopefully soon he will fully embark on, which is he's a Jay Shetty life coach.
Certified life coach, yeah.
Yeah, certified life coach. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Yuva, how are you? How is your day?
Oh, hi, hi, Christian. Hi, everyone. I mean, thank you for first of all, I must say thank you to Christian for introducing me to GES, and yeah, this is my debut here, so I'm taking my first bow here. So thank you, Christian, for introducing me to the GES, and I'm feeling good. Yeah, feeling good. Just looking forward to the weekend, basically, and yeah, thank you.
You're most welcome. I'm happy that we can do this too here,
Yes,
uh, because previously we've had online and offline conversations on a variety of topics
yes.
that are of interest to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I looked up the definition of networking and communication, and then we can talk about each of our perspectives about it.
Yeah.
So, networking, according to dictionary.com, is a supportive system of sharing information and services among individuals and groups having a common interest.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
that's a very interesting and concise definition. What do you have anything to add on to that, Yuva?
Okay, you see, Christian, the very essence, the survival of human being is I mean, we can evolve because like we evolved from the Stone Age up to the first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, third, and now we're in the IR 4.0. So what makes human being still existent today is the ability to evolve. Now, how we are able to evolve is the ability to communicate and ability to form networks. So you see, for example, from the very first civilization in history, which is the Sumerian, the Mesopotamia. So how it's amazing to see how people can come together, form a certain clique, and from there they form a certain language. So as you can see, the language is the basis of communication because they have something standardized so that they can communicate and all that. So what so that's why I say that communication and networking is the very essence of the survival of human being. So I truly agree with what you say just now, the definition.
Okay, yes, and uh, we were also talking the other day. We had a little discussion to prepare
Mm-hmm.
for this one, and
Yes.
we are talking about the different contexts and scenarios in which uh, networking take place.
Mm-hmm.
It could be among our very small circle, or it could be among a larger circle, perhaps with regards to business or social event.
Mm-hmm.
It varies. And then okay, and then before the pandemic, I was so used to attending face-to-face networking events,
Yes.
and when the pandemic hit, I had to get used to sitting in front of the computer screen, um,
Yeah.
staring at the camera, and
Mm-hmm.
being at the mercy of the internet connection. And the weather, whether it's
Yeah.
sunny weather or rainy weather, and of course, sometimes at the most inconvenient times, the computer suddenly can play up, or the headset can play up.
Yeah.
This is life. You can only
Yeah.
prepare and plan so much, but when things happen, you have to troubleshoot and go with the flow.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when it happens, it's bound to happen. It just happens. So you just have to face it, right? So that's
Yes.
where improvisation comes into place, right? So yeah. So the moment when you mention about communication, if you don't mind, can I share about the types of communication styles, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Okay, so this is what I got from my research on Google about communication styles. So this is the article from Alvernia University, which states that there are four types of communication styles, which is
Mm-hmm.
passive,
Okay.
aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
passive aggressive, and assertive. Now, I will not go in the full article, but let me say the highlights from each of the styles. So therefore, like to engage in an effective communication and also further up into networking, you need to know what is the type of communicator you are engaging with. So therefore, I will explain one by one in brief. Okay? Number one, passive. Now, individuals who are passive communication style, they often act indifferently, yielding to others. They have some problem to express their feelings or need, allowing others to express themselves. And normally when you say passive, it's more like introverts, okay? Because they um, they they are unable to express themselves fully. So this could lead to miscommunication, misunderstanding, which could lead to anger and conflict. So that's in short why I talk about passive communicator. Now,
Okay.
secondly is aggressive communicator. Now, aggressive communicator, as the name suggests, aggressive. That means that they are very, up to it. Like they are very extrovert. Like whatever they
Okay.
say, and they will say it with a loud, confident tone because they are being aggressive and being extrovert. And when they say they maintain intensive eye contact. So if you notice, Christian, if you see someone who is very extroverted, who knows what the person speak, he will
Mm-hmm.
maintain a very sharp eye contact to the audience. So that
Okay.
shows that you are engaging not just orally but also in terms of eye contact. Okay, so but at the same time, it could get too invasive that it could be intimidating. It could be too criticizing and in worst part attacking. So that's aggressive, so to speak. Okay, now what are
Okay.
example of phrases for aggressive communicator? It say that I'm right, you're wrong,
Okay.
I get my way no matter what, and it's all your fault. So these are the three common. So these are the three common phrases where aggressive communicators tend to use. Okay. Now the third one is passive aggressive. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a bit confusing because it is a mixture of both. Like laksa, you have mixture of many flavors, right? So similar to this, is a mixture of passive and aggressive. So this is may sound confusing because like This passive aggressive person may appear passive on the surface, but within she may feel powerless or stuck. They will build up a feeling of resentment that lead to acting out in a subtle, indirect, secret way. So to make it in a simpler way, okay, maybe in the on the front they may look okay, supportive, say
Mhm.
okay, motivating, engaging, all that. But on the back, they'll talk bad about you. They will like basically stabbing your back lah. That's the simplest way of saying passive aggressive.
In simple terms, in front of your face they say one thing, behind your back they say something else.
Correct, exactly. You can say that. So I can see an example of a phrase of passive aggressive communicator is like that's fine with me, but don't be surprised if someone else gets mad. So that's how you can see like okay, this person is a passive aggressive communicator. Now the last but not least, assertive communicator. Now this is deemed to be the best among the lot because
Okay.
they engage in a very open communication, where they can express their own needs, desire, feelings confidently, and at the same time being mindful about the needs of others. So we have the perfect balance of these two, perfect marriage of these two, confidence and also being mindful about others. So it's like a perfect balance there. So example of phrases like we are equally okay. I respect the rights of others. Simple say I respect the rights of others. So or I hear you, I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
So these type of statements shows that the person is a assertive communicator. Now, how do someone can be from the tree become an assertive communicator? Okay, they take ownership. They have
Okay.
to maintain eye contact. This is
Yes.
the powerful one. Learn to say no.
That can be challenging for some people.
Yeah, learn to say no. But people do not know. No is a very powerful word. They do not know that. Yeah. Over to you,
Yeah,
Krishan.
for some people, they when they hear no, they think maybe there's still room for persuasion or negotiation. But
Mm.
um, for some of us, no means no. It's a very clear statement, message being made.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yuva, for sharing the four different styles of
Mm-hmm.
communication.
Yeah.
Okay, coming back to the definition that I looked up, it
Mm-hmm.
says there are multiple meanings, but the most straightforward one is communication is the act or process of communicating or fact of being communicated. Another meaning is the imparting or interchange of thoughts, opinions, or information by speech, writing, or signs. And I believe because of we have differently able individuals, I think the signs in the says could be sign language. You know, for some
Yes.
people, they have certain challenges, so they they use different ways to communicate, like sign language. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you see some international events and international news, and even the news in Malaysia,
Mm-hmm.
from time to time you see there's a sign language interpreter
Yes.
signing the whatever is being conveyed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. um and there's as you were talking about effective communication, there's also ineffective communication, which
Mm-hmm.
ties into the four four communication styles that you mentioned.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And of course, effective communication is when you have had a chance to think things through before you open your mouth and say and convey to your audience, whether it's one on one or in a cozy group of people or it's
Yeah.
a larger audience about a specific topic. Because of course, it depends on the context. Whether
Yes.
is it a group of colleagues or classmates, or is it like a online networking session or a face-to-face networking event or a conference or a bazaar.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
totally different ways of tailor making your message and
Yeah.
communication style to suit
Yes.
the person that you are communicating with. Because
Yes.
some people are very comfortable with a non-verbal communication, the body
Yes.
language and the
Yeah.
gestures and all that. Other
Mm-hmm.
people are more confident verbally communicating. Then there's
Mm-hmm.
also written communication.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, like I think over here, our friend here, Al Chan, have hit the nail on the head by saying that Asian no means can, maybe. Westerners no is straight no. Al Chan, salute to you. You say correctly. Because yeah, because that's the problem. That's the problem with we as Asian. Because like we have we in a way we have this I think it's like upbringing, or is it like narrative says that we are being taught not to say no because it seems to sound rude. Sounds rude, or sounds to be okay, like you are being selfish or being bad, because we are being, it's like it's like a narrative among Asians. Like it means when you say no means bad, but actually no means no. There's no any hidden direct indirect meaning. No means no. So yeah, that's why I say
Yes,
no is a very powerful word. We should really embrace the power of saying no, because when you say no, when you say the
yes.
word no, it empowers you. It gives you a control. But if you don't say no, you're basically giving the control to others. You're letting others to control you. Right.
Yes, I do agree with you, Yuva. But sometimes when you say no, some people refuse to accept it as a final, definitive answer
Yes. Yeah.
because maybe they're not used to being
Rejected.
rejected, okay, and
Yes.
told that whatever that they are requesting or they are wishing for
Mm-hmm.
is not an option. Okay,
Yeah.
and yes, it ties into a little bit about what you said, whether it's the upbringing
Mm-hmm.
or perhaps maybe things were quite simple and straightforward for them. So they're so used to hearing yes rather than no.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
they hear no, maybe they think there's room for negotiation and persuasion and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. Okay. Perhaps we can, yeah. Andrea also asked us the question:
Yeah.
what is how do you build your network? Now that is
Mm.
a really awesome question because
Yeah.
I'm sure you have your own way of doing it, and I also have my way of doing it. Each of us has our own strengths, so
Yeah.
we will usually focus on that and. That ties into some of our strategies and ways in building networks. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it it is it's not very scientific, but I take things at a very in a very simple way. Whenever I'm meeting someone, of
Mm-hmm.
course I smile. That's the first thing to do
Mm-hmm.
before starting a conversation, to
Yeah.
get the attention of the other person and basically to signal that, hi, I'm here, I would like to have a discussion or to engage with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I will introduce myself, and then I will also, if they don't introduce themselves, I will also ask them to give me their name and tell me a little bit about themselves to break the ice. And then um, we will start with common topics and then work our way to very specific topics. How
Mm-hmm.
about you, Yuba?
Well, for me, for starters, I'm an introvert. I'm proud of it. I'm being introvert. So for me, to what I call develop my network, or develop my network, it's like one is through word of mouth, because no matter what you say about social media, about content creation, for me, I believe old school. Old school rocks. In this case, old school, what I mean is that words of mouth, because like word of
Okay,
mouth travel faster. Travel fast. Okay, so basically, what I do is I will start with the client, and I will rely on the client to give a testimonial, and then the
okay,
client will spread the word. Okay. So yo, check this out. Check this out. I found this cool coach by the name of Yuva, YD, and he has helped my life in a big way. So
okay.
I think it might be useful to you. So yeah, those kind of things, word of mouth. And but however, like to develop it further to the global stage, I rely on social media. That's why I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. But still, if you ask me, I will prefer old school rock. So yeah, word of mouth for me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually a term, word of mouth marketing, and tomorrow Camelia will be talking about word
Yeah.
of mouth marketing and referrals. So yes, yeah, old school rocks, but you know, with various new social media platforms
Mhm.
and the younger generation, each generation has their own unique experiences,
Yes.
and each person has their own, shall we say, best practices. Not
Yep.
to put too serious a term onto it, but
Hmm.
I think that's a good way of describing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, all school is good, but at
Yeah.
the same time, as I was saying to Andrea, we can only plan and control so much. You
Yeah.
have to go with the flow and
That's true.
adapt accordingly
Yeah.
based on the verbal and non-verbal cues that you're getting from the person
Yes.
you're communicating with.
Yep.
Because it could be one on one, it could be a group of people, it
Hmm.
could be people you know, it could be total strangers,
Yep.
and there could be some other challenges that could happen along the way.
Yep. Yeah, which like goes back to my earlier point where the very essence of human being existing to this very day is we evolve. So how we evolve, we able to to evolve with the going time, because like we've been evolving from the time of the wheel cart to the time of the wheel, and then we have the first car, we have the first motorbike, and now we have like flying cars, and then we have handphones, smartphones, smart TVs, all these things. So the very essence of the existing human being is we evolve. So as time goes by, we evolve, and that's how. And similarly, we communicate, and we can able to group together, form a network, and exchange ideas. Yeah.
Yes, yes. um, yeah, before the pandemic I had not heard of Zoom.
Hmm.
uh, I didn't even know there was such a thing as what do you call it, Google Meet. I had heard
Good
about
bit.
WebEx
Hmm.
and used it a long,
Hmm.
long time ago.
Yeah.
But uh, there's a lot of different social media platforms and tools
Hmm.
that are available that is sometimes a bit of a struggle
Hmm.
to get competent and skillful at using it. So that's an
Yeah.
additional challenge in this age of the digital age, and the advancement of information technology.
Yes. Yeah, and then also when you mentioned about communicate and networking, I remember
Mhm.
one point discussed yesterday where with the advancement in communication and networking tools we have right now, different people from different continent. So basically, it makes the world smaller. For example, I can talk to someone from the US, from Canada, or from South America, or from the other corner of the world, just like just like me talking side by side, like that person is the room beside me. So yeah, and with that, it also encourage someone to synergize their time, energy, and effort. So less effort, and we can create more quality work in a shorter period of time.
True, true. One of the good things about having
Yes.
to work remotely
Mhm.
or get used to doing things that in front of a computer from home
Mhm.
or your home office is
Yep.
you have to get comfortable with staring at the camera and the computer
Yeah.
screen
Yeah.
and troubleshooting and getting quite clear
Mhm.
about the message that you want to communicate, to convey
Yeah.
to the person on the other side.
Yeah.
And
Which can be very intimidating for introverts, because when they see camera, it's like, oh no, I'm in camera. They start to get freeze. So they start to freeze. So yeah. Yeah. Over to
I
you.
I am an extrovert, Yuva, but you can say I haven't completely moved out from the introvert a dynamic from which I originally came from.
Yep.
And I'm thankful to that classmate of mine who basically who encouraged me to be more communicative and more engaging
Mhm.
and just one, she basically said, Chrishanne, why you so quiet? Talk more lah. Then after that, it's like, okay, once I got started, it's now like, okay, hang on a minute. I need to, even though I'm excited about something, I need to give some time for the other person to say something, because communication is not just about conveying information. Another important part is also listening, and you learn more by listening to the other person.
Yes. So yeah, what makes an effective communication is you listen, and then the other person can able to listen to you and able to reply back. Okay, and we have a question, and we have some comments here from Alchan and a question from Cynthia. How to not just connect with people to build a network, but also keep in touch and not only find them when we need something from them. Say after 1 year connecting with them. Well, that's a very
Okay, a very pertinent question and timely one, because yes, I can resonate with that, because um, that this is not my style. I regularly communicate with people, irrespective of whether I need something from them or not.
mhm,
So when you do that, the rapport is there, the 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 shall we say, the connection is there,
yeah,
and when you nurture and build that friendship and relationship,
mhm,
so when the time comes when you actually need to ask for help,
yeah,
it is quite a seamless and smooth process.
yeah,
Okay. And unfortunately, I think for some people, maybe they are not very comfortable in regularly and actively communicating, whether it's via WhatsApp or over the phone, or whether it's Facebook, or whether it's LinkedIn,
mhm,
or Instagram, so on and so forth. Hi, Udunma. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, that's a very important question. And it starts by little steps. Okay,
yes,
so start initiating a communication
mhm,
with the person, whether it's someone you know or someone you don't know, and make it as sincere as
yeah,
possible, so
yes,
that the rapport is there. Um,
yeah,
so that when the time comes when you need to ask for help or advice,
yep.
it will be a very good communication. Yes, Yuva, you want to add?
No, actually not an app. Just a quick question because since Andrea is here, I want to ask a quick question to both of you. Do you know what's different between listening and hearing?
Sounds like a tricky question. I think, Andrea, would you like to say anything
Yes, I
about
have
this?
to jump on board because I think Roland is already in the studio. So I
Okay.
will do answer this one very quickly, but I will make it like very tricky and I will bring Roland up and
Yeah. Hello,
Hi,
Roland.
Roland. Thank you for joining us. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
surprise, surprise. We have a question for you. So what do you think? What is the difference between listening and hearing?
Roland,
Okay.
can you
Fine.
unmute? We can't. Okay, now we
Yeah,
can hear
now
you.
it's okay.
Yep.
We will hear you.
Okay. Thank you for unmuting me. Hi, everyone. Actually, I've been eavesdropping for the last 5 minutes, and I've been listening to you guys. Yeah, that's a very good way to listen, to mute someone. But the difference between listening and hearing, I believe, it's. It's the way how you react, so that will tell to the other person that did you really listen, or you just heard something. I think
Mhm.
it will transform into or manifest in the person's action. So what's he's gonna do next after having a conversation? I think that's gonna be the judge of, did he listen or just heard what you say. I think that's it.
Yes, that is a good point. Yeah, if your hearing means perhaps you may miss out on certain important nuances and points about what's being said. Whereas,
Yes.
if you're listening, hopefully you would have got the 100% of the message being conveyed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
I love it. I love it, guys. Thank you so much. I think this was a very great, informative session, and I think we'll know more about communication and networking in the real meaning, not in the way how it's sometimes done today, that it's only for my own winnings and whatever I want, just give it to me. And instead of that, we are listening to each other and we are trying to help each other first, and then we figure out how we can actually mutually win from this relationship. So I really, really love the comments. Thank you so much, Udumna. Cynthia is saying listening is really actively understanding a person, and hearing can be passive, like how you listen to a song on the radio in the
Yep.
background, or how Roland was listening to you unmuted in the backstage of the studio. So thank you, guys. This is an amazing half an hour. We could do more. Maybe we will bring this back because I still have some sessions open. So I think this needs another half an hour to discuss, because there's so many layers to networking and communication.
Yes,
And
we
every
barely,
different,
sorry, yeah, we barely scratched the surface. There's more to
yes,
it.
yes. I think I will bring you back, guys. We have 4 weeks, 5 weeks to go. So every week we can talk a little bit about this. Is a very good combo, the two of you. So thank you so much for doing this. And I'm really, really happy to have you in the studio again after the 2 years already. And now it's for the third year, and for you a first time. So thank you so much. Have an amazing
Thank
evening.
you, Andrea. Thank you,
Thank you.
Yuva.
It was
Good
nice
to
to meet
see
you.
you, Roland, and catch up with you in others
Sure.
in this session and other ones.
Hopefully.
We'll
Yeah.
do that. Bye,
On to you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I love these hot seats when everyone is changing places and we are like doing the next up. So thank you, guys. And Roland, welcome in the studio. I'm really
Thank
happy
you.
to have you here. You are someone who I really wanted to showcase, and I really want you to tell us more about what you represent. I would like to start straight away, because this is how we do in the
Okay.
studio. Whoever jumps in, it's already in the conversation. With you, we are talking about something that you created, and you and your team, we got connected back in the times, and ever since then we keep connections. And it's the first year that we are actually using the tool
Yes.
that created to run the women's startup competition. So super excited. And before we jump into it, introduce yourself a little bit to the audience. Who are you? Where are you from? What are you doing? And what is this tool that we are talking
Okay.
about?
First of all, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and talk in your summit. So yes, a little bit about me. I'm an engineer. I was always a tech guy since I was a little kid. So I was always interested in technology and basically how things work. And I had a pretty long career with big tech companies, corporates, and after 10 years, I started to think about starting my own venture. And after several failed attempts, I hooked up with my current co-founders, and we started to build a platform just when the pandemic started and turned the world upside down. So we started to build an online platform. It's kind of social media where all the people who are interested in building a startup, anything related to building a startup, they can create their own profile and they can join the ecosystem quite quick and easy, because that was the point just before this pandemic started. All the offline events went bust, so everything stayed at home, started to work online, and pretty quickly people realized it's really hard to do networking, to do conversations with possible investors, finding team members, or finding just other people who are interested in the same stuff as you do. So we realized really quickly that it's really hard to do this through Zoom or any other online platform. Obviously, the social media platforms are not really suited for that, to build your own venture. So we started to connect the dots and started really slowly building a platform where really just after a few weeks of development, we released it to the public because we wanted to build something that interested for the people, not just, build something for years and then see where we can sell it. So we started to release the features over time, and last year we got our first angel investment, and that was the point when we started to grow very quickly. Now we have 2,000 active users, and we have more than 400 startups in our platform, and we are continuously growing, and we giving place for big events just like the Women Startup Competition. And this year we started to cooperate with the Startup World Cup. We were the ones who organized the semifinals here in Hungary. And now we are starting to grow and provide a platform as a tool for other regions as well. So this is our story in short.
I love it. I love it. And then we have to also talk about this angel investment, because that is also something very interesting, because if I know well, your investor is from the area where I live, right?
Yes, he's from Singapore. So that was
That proves the fact that people can get money not just from today, not just from their own localization and their own environment,
yes.
but because of the internet, because of the digitalization, because of the news spreading faster. It's
Yep.
really interesting how investors are looking around and finding
Yes,
people like you.
I think that's one of the upside of the pandemic, if you can say something like that, is that really the distances grow shorter. So it means that you can reach out to the other side of the world and find business connections there. So I think that's something really fascinating. And that was the sole purpose of our platform, to really give every possible connection in the reach to your hand. So I think it's a really good example of you can do whatever you want if you have internet connection and laptop, and that's it. So it's pretty amazing that we found, because with investment it's always hard and it's always a struggle for every startup.
Yes.
And it's really a hard nut to crack, even though the possibilities and the opportunities seems endless. And maybe that's also part of the problem. So you don't really know who to trust, you don't really know where to start looking. And this is what we are trying to achieve with our platform, to showcase you all the people, represent all the opportunities that are valid, trustworthy, and 100% proof of being trustworthy, and you can easily connect anyone. Because obviously we used LinkedIn for many years and still using for some cases, but there's always a hiccup if you want to connect someone. There's the connection request, and it's sometimes it can be really mind-boggling that you need to wait for the other person to let you inside to their own inner circle. So that was one of the first thing that we deactivated on our platform. So you don't need a connection request. If you would like to chat with someone, you can do it in one click. It's basically our, let's say, our motto when we are developing new features. It shouldn't be more than a few clicks to do whatever you
Very
wish.
simple, very
Yes.
available, making everyone so available. I really love this actually. And we were talking about this with Tamás, because Tamás was here in the afternoon also. We were talking about the Women Startup Competition tomorrow, and we were thinking, okay, why is this platform so unique? And I think one of them is the ideas that people not just go there to post their fully worked out pitches and one-liners, but they the one-pagers, but they are also have the opportunity to go there and just post a little bit about the idea and just validate the idea and test the idea, which is one of the most important thing, because there is not really a lot of platforms when you can actually just go there and shout out your idea and people will
Yeah.
tell you, okay, don't do
Yes,
that.
that's really funny that you're saying that, because when we started to develop the platform, and still in some cases, we meet people who are really afraid of someone is stealing their idea. And we are an open platform. That's how we benchmark ourselves. We are an open innovation platform, and I'm always asked the question from these people that. What's your idea worth if you don't share it with the world? So it's how you gonna build anything if you don't talk about it to other people? Actually, this is one of the main points of my workshop on Sunday,
Yes.
because I will talk about pitching, and basically pitching is sharing your idea with different type of persons and groups. So and actually the first 6 months of your startup is to tell as many people as you can what are you trying to build. So if you're afraid to put it outside on a platform where people can freely see your idea, then I don't think that you got a chance. So you can keep your idea to yourself, but what's the point?
Yeah, actually, that's something that is so interesting, because it is. I can understand. I was honestly, we all have been there, right? So at the beginning, when you have your
Yes.
idea, you don't have the means. So especially today, when the world is all about developers and developers becoming so powerful because they can create whatever they want, and you need them, because if you are not a developer yourself, it's really hard to create something, right?
Yes.
Especially in the IT world. So you are like, oh, can I keep talk about my idea, because if I talk about it, what will make them not to do it? But then you don't think about the fact that their work is not that part. So you will be always the driver of your idea. You will be always the person who can make that happen. The other person is somewhat like a resource or a tool who can help you to get there, right? And then this is
Yes.
limiting you if you're not talking about it, if you don't talk to people, and you don't know who you meet while you are talking about your idea.
Yes, and basically that's like rule number one of product development. It's talk to users, receive feedback, change it, and then show them again. So it's you cannot really miss the talking part because otherwise you will have nothing. So it's like just like I said, if you keep your ideas and thoughts to yourself, it's like you build something in your garage for 2 years and then go to the market, try to sell it, and then you realize, oh, people don't really want to buy this, they want to buy that, so maybe I should build that one. And you just wasted 2 years of your life. Congratulations. And hopefully you didn't wasted a lot of money. So it's a really funny thing to say that, but yeah, I will talk about this more on Sunday, on how you can formalize not just a pitch, or we can call it a pitch because you are pitching like all the time. So if you have an idea how to spend the weekend with your family, you start pitching the idea to your wife, and then you get a response, and then you will modify your plans. So it's like you don't even realize, but you're pitching a lot. So if you're talking to your boss about what should we do with this or that project, you're also pitching. So that's also a form of pitching. And it's not just presenting business ideas, but presenting any kind of ideas to any other person. It's basically pitching.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah. I think sales and marketing skills and pitching is something that is so useful in life. I mean, how
yes,
we are
yes.
getting further, how we are getting discounts, how we are, yeah, just organizing a life in a situation when we need to do something. It's actually the one thing that will save our business or our life. So it's a super important thing to focus on and learn more. Alchen has a question. So he's asking, is it difficult to gather new startups into Posi, as there are numerous similar established pitching platforms available in the market too?
Uh, Mm, I would say that we're just in the brink of monetization, so we're just reaching out. So the sole idea was to, yes, the other platforms we perfectly aware of them, F-Success, Crunchbase, Deal Room. There are other platforms, but they are targeting mostly one part of the spectrum. So I mean, like Deal Room is mostly built for VCs and big corporates who are actively looking for startup. This doesn't really help founders to get ahead building their own startup. And these platforms are huge and very complicated. Our big advantage is that we are very simple to use, easy to use, and we are targeting both spectrum of the startup ecosystem. So we try to appeal for both startuppers and both organizations, therefore making them easier to find each other. So that's that's the big advantage of our own platform. I would say that.
Yeah, I really love it. I was there. I put an organization there, and I registered as a person. You can all try it out. You just have to go to posi.io. Here you go, posi.io. You put it in your browser, and you can register and look around. Because who knows, you maybe have an idea and you want to run it. So you just have to be on the platform. And once you are there, you can see the competitions. You can also get inside and ask some advice. You will get some feedbacks from the mentors on the platform. So it's really a good tool to use. Let me see. Okay, Lalita is having another question. How to safeguard when pitch your business ideas to investors from being stolen? Are there any platforms to patent the idea first? This is something also touching a point about patents and
Yes.
properties. So
Yes,
it's
I
a
think
question
I think
related.
pa- patenting an idea is yeah, it really depends on what kind of idea are they talking about. I think patenting in some cases it's useful. For example, if you are developing like a medical device that can potentially can be really expensive to develop and it's a really good business. Yeah, patenting is a smart idea to start. But if you are try to commercialize, or I don't know, some really domestic product and really simple to build, I don't think patenting is a good idea. I think in that case, speed is always will decide, are you gonna stay on your foot or the market will eat you alive. So it's
I
like,
think this is something very important what you just say right now, because you have your idea, and the more you sit on it, the more you just
yes,
think about it. You don't
yes,
show it to anyone. The more
yes.
someone else will be more forced
Exactly,
to
exactly.
do
Let me
it.
put it this way. It's really good to think about that. There are almost 8 billion people in this world. So if you think about something, probably there's a good chance in some part of the world
Someone is
other
thinking the
people
same.
is already thinking about the same thing. So I think worrying about patenting and someone stealing your idea is just a waste of time. So don't care about that. Just talk to people and move ahead as fast as you can.
No, I really love this, and then I love the points that you mentioned. We don't have too much time because I will
Okay.
go with Tamash again. We are mentoring again the startup competition
Great.
members from 6 p.m. So we have 2-3 minutes
Okay.
left from this session. But before I let you go, we will see you on Sunday, which
Yes.
Sunday is already the master classes of the bootcamp experience are starting, and I'm really happy to have you there. And you will talk about how to pitch
Yep.
and everything
Uh,
about pitching,
I will
basically.
bring very exciting examples and great techniques how to be sure about your pitching.
And Lalita is saying, okay, that means not to sit on
Yep.
it, just go ahead and implement it. Got it. Thank you. Thank you
Exactly.
so much, Lalita. It was a great question. I love the question also. And guys, don't miss it. We have some 50% off. So if you see the coupon code here below, then you can individually subscribe for every single masterclass with this code and get 50% off from the price that we already. But this is very special, and it's all only when we are talking to the people that I will bring this coupon code up. So Roland, what would be your one advice? Because before I let you go, the first advice or the biggest advice that you when you were young would tell to yourself as a startup owner or someone who just starting up, what would be that one advice that you would tell to everyone?
Be brave and don't be afraid to move ahead. Yeah, I think courage is one of the most important skills of an entrepreneur. So be bold and brave and just do it.
Be bold and brave and courageous. And if you would like to connect with Roland, please reach out on LinkedIn or on posi.io. Straight away you can go to the platform actually.
Sure. Yes.
And then post your ideas and ask also Roland about it, how you should develop it. And thank you so much, Roland, for being here and bringing us a lot of tips and showing a platform which is quite new and quite simple and everyone can join without any labels. So I love the idea. I already loving it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea. See you Sunday.
See you on Sunday. Bye-bye. Thank you guys for watching. I'm really happy. We had amazing conversation today. I hope you listened to all of them. If you not, of course, you can rewatch it again and you get many tips about a lot of things. If you still have questions, thank you, Yuva. You can just put it into the videos under any sessions that you are curious about, because all the experts are watching this, so they will come back to you with an answer. So feel free to continue to rewatch the sessions and then ask your questions, because all of you are from different time zones. It can happen that you cannot watch us live, so make sure that you are around and asking all the questions. And I hope to see you in the bootcamps. We are having 9 masterclasses. Every masterclass will be on a Sunday, most probably for Roland and for Veronica, because they are from Europe. It will be 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. this Sunday about course creation and pitching. And then after that, every Sunday, 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. will be about others that you saw in this little advertisement. And just because we would like more and more people to join in and give more opportunities, we are giving 50% off of the individual tickets. So rush now and get your tickets. You are supporting the speakers, you are supporting the platform, and you are also empowering yourself. So I think it's a good deal. And see you soon. If you are interested in how mentorship is going, then next up from 6 p.m. we have a mentoring, an open mentoring, where we are helping all the startups who are coming tomorrow for pitching with Tamás, who you already have seen. And thank you, Yuva. Thank you, Lalita. And thank you, Jag and Alchan, for being here. Support means a lot, because that's why we are all together. We are elevating each other, and it means a lot that you are supporting the streams. Thank you also, Cynthia, that you were here. It's Friday, so now we will have an open conversation. Next up is the mentoring session. After the mentoring session, it will be a little bit of break, so you can go and have your dinner just like I will. And in the meantime, you can play with the game that Shiv was preparing for you. Don't forget, there is a quiz challenge going on. So with the link or with the QR code, you can access the quiz and answer right now 5 questions. But every day, there will be new 5 additional questions added to the quiz until the end of the 5 weeks. And then we will announce the winners on Sunday, the last week end of the summit. Very, very happy to have you here, guys, and quite excited. It was a good start for the summit, and now we are heading into the mentoring session. And after the mentoring session, we have a little break until 7 p.m. Singapore time, and we are coming up at 8 p.m. again with Innovating Beyond the Tipping Point with Nigesh. And then we have Junaid, who will tell us and show us amazing setups for home studios. And I have to tell you, I saw that before. It's an amazing presentation. And from 9:30, I have a new feature which I wanted to start to experiment this year. That means that our panel discussions will be open to the public. That means that everyone from the audience can come up and jump in. I will accept a few people to jump into the studio and to tell their own meaning, their own definitions, their own perspectives on the future of business growth. And this is for today and for all the panel discussions, which are happening on Friday and Saturday, every day from 9:30 until 10:30. So it's around a 1 hour conversation. Throughout the session, I will just share the StreamYard Studio link. You can jump inside and you can be one of the panel members. So don't miss out on this opportunity. If you couldn't manage to be a speaker this year or you would like to try it out, please just join in tonight. So see you again from 8 p.m. with Nigesh, Junaid, and then from 9:30 with the open panel discussion. Thank you so much, guys. Let me play a video. And the link of the game, I already put it there, but let me just copy it again before I leave the studio very quickly so that all of you can have it. And then it will be also at the end of this discussion. Here you go, the game and the link. And then I have to go because we are going to mentor our startups. So after the video, I say goodbye and see you again 8 p.m. Malaysian or Singapore time. And enjoy your lunch or dinner. Okay, see you guys.
Hello everyone, this is Amreen Adi. Last year also I was part of Global Empowerment Summit as a speaker. It was an amazing experience as more than 200 speakers joined the summit last year and they shared their expertise. This year it's gonna be more than 200. More people will be there, more experts will be there. So you will learn a lot from their knowledge and expertise. So be there, make sure that you grab your ticket, make sure that you have your seat for Global Empowerment Summit 2022 because this time it's gonna be bigger than ever. So don't miss the chance.